If you are new to retouching, you might be making some common mistakes without realizing it. In this video, I'll be showing you 10 beginner mistakes and how to fix them so you can get started the right way. Let's get right into it. So the first mistake we'll be looking at is over smoothing of skin. This is something many beginner retouchers encounter. So you find out that after editing, the subject looks over edited. The skin has this plastic look, and this can be caused due to the fact that you didn't pick the right Gaussian blur value while editing. So as you can see in this image, the skin looks over edited, looks smoothened out and plastic, but I'll be showing you this one, and you can see that the skin for this actually looks better than the first one. So we have this looking nice, and then we have this looking over edited. So one thing you can do about fixing this is ensuring you have the perfect Gaussian blur value selected when you are doing your frequency separation. You do your dodge and burn properly, and then you ensure that you are not doing anything destructively. When you do your dodge and burn, you can always reduce your opacity so it's just not too much. So the next mistake beginner retouchers make is ignoring skin tone and color balance. So for that, I'll be showing you using this particular picture. So sometimes when we want to balance the colors of our image, when we want to achieve a perfect skin tone, we sometimes overdo it. One can actually be editing a picture and then you have the skin tone looking this way, which is actually not looking nice. So if you master how to work on your white balance, work with the different color tones or color tools in your Capture One, you would be able to get a perfect balance, a perfect skin tone for your images. So it is important as a beginner to take note of this, take note of the white balance of your image, take note of the skin tone. Try as much as possible to get a real skin tone, something that looks similar to how the subject or the client actually looked during the shoot, and not just doing something drastic, unless you're working or trying to get something artistic. But in the normal sense or the normal situation, you are supposed to achieve a skin tone that is close to that of the clients when you were having the shoots. So the next mistake beginners make is overdoing dodge and burn. So dodge and burn simply means trying to correct light variations in a picture, to correct the light and the shadow using a technique called dodge and burn. So there are two types of dodge and burn. There's a corrective and then there's a contouring dodge and burn. So for this image, I would show you this. This is the first dodge and burn I did, and this is the second one. As you can see, it helped to enhance how the image looks. I just used light and shadow to actually correct the variations. So but if it's not properly done, instead of enhancing the image, it can bring a little bit of destruction to how the face or the shape of the face. So for example, if it's not done properly, we can have something like this. As you can see, it's destroying how the face actually looks. It is flattening the face instead of enhancing it. So one of the reasons or one of the things that can cause this is if you are not using the proper value for your brush settings, or if you are not doing it the right way. So there's also need for you when you're doing dodge and burn to actually reduce your opacity, just in case the intensity is too much. You can actually reduce your opacity. Some beginners are not aware about this. They just go about doing the dodge and burn and then they end up destroying how the image actually looks instead of enhancing it. So moving on, we have another mistake beginners make, which is working destructively. So the proper way to go about editing is to actually work step by step using different layers and adjustments. So it is actually advisable to have these layers stacked on each other instead of merging it. This allows you to make corrections in a situation where your clients actually have corrections to an image. You can easily locate the layer and then make adjustments to it. So one way to go about it, just like this image, you ensure all your different layers are aligned. They are there. You can actually see them and make adjustments. If I have an issue with the whitening of the eye, I can easily come and then take it out, reduce the opacity if I want. So I have all the layers here and I can make corrections to whichever layer I want. But in a situation where the layers are stacked, they are meshed together rather, I would not be able to make corrections if I want to, because the layers will no longer be visible. So it is advisable to always work non-destructively. Arrange your layers, have your layers stacked on each other, and then save that way, so you can always come back to make corrections, and you can actually be able to know your work process. You can see them listed out and then know the processes you took in editing a particular picture. So number 5 on the list will be pore, eye and teeth whitening. So for that, I would want us to look at this image. So sometimes as beginners or as beginner retouchers, we tend to whiten the teeth or the eyes too much, and this actually makes the image look fake and not real. So for example, for this image, if I whiten the teeth this way, just looks fake, looks too drastic. Even from afar, I can see the teeth looking too white. It is good to actually make a client's teeth white. So when you do it too much, it doesn't look good. So there's need for you to know the right opacity to always leave your teeth or eye whitening. So for example, you can whiten the teeth and you have it looking this way. So you have it looking this way instead of looking this way, which is way too much. So the next on the list is ignoring hair retouching. Most times as retouchers, we tend to overlook some certain things, just like hair retouching. You might just feel, oh, it is not important. There's no need taking out these hair strands. Let me just leave it that way and that's it. But it is not supposed to be so. There's need for us to actually edit a picture and then take out the hair strands. So instead of having it looking this way, you can take out the hair strands and then you have the image looking like this. So we have the before with the hair looking this way, and then we have the after. Of course, this actually looks better than having it this way. So as beginners, there's need. It might take time, but that's what you have to do in order to present a very good looking image to your clients. You should not ignore these little things. They help to enhance how the final result comes out. So the 7th on the list is over sharpening of an image. So in order for us to get sharp images, sometimes we tend to over sharpen, and when you do that, it just makes the whole texture, makes the whole image look fake. For example, if I come and then I add sharpening to this, and then I have the picture looking this way, it is actually not looking nice. So as beginners, sometimes we tend to do this and we leave it that way because, oh, we want our pictures to look very sharp when we post it. But you're supposed to reduce your opacity. You're supposed to look for a sweet spot where the sharpening is looking really nice. And some pictures already come out looking sharp. There's really no need adding extra sharpening to it. You only add it when it is necessary. So there's need for us as retouchers to know which image requires sharpening and then the best opacity to leave a particular sharpening at. Another mistake beginners make is inconsistent backdrops. So this simply talks about not cleaning up the backdrops properly, or leaving some blemishes or leaving some distractions on the background. It might be, oh, you might say there's no time to do this, or it's taking a lot of time, and then you decide to leave it the way it is. But it is not supposed to be so, or it is not right. There's need for you to clean up your background. It just helps the image come out way better. So we have a background looking like this, and then we have this background looking this way. As you can see, the background that is properly cleaned up looks better, and it's more presentable to a client than having your background look this way. So you have the dirt on the background, but if you clean up, you would have the background looking this way. The shadows are still there, and then the background, the stains are no longer on it. So there's need for you to always clean up your backgrounds while editing and not just leaving it the way it came from the shoot. There's need for you to clean up. You can use the Gaussian blur value system to clean up, or mixer brush approach. So moving forward, another mistake beginners make is adding unnecessary textures to the image, thereby making the image look fake and unrealistic. So something that causes that is, it might be when they are trying to fix the blemishes. They might pick the wrong texture to fix a particular blemish, thereby making the texture there look unnatural or uneven. So if I want to fix this blemish, I might pick from this part and clean it up. Looking at it, you see that it has introduced a different texture to that mix. So there's need for us to know how to properly take out blemishes in order to retain textures and not destroy or add unnecessary textures that will make the whole skin look unnatural or look fake. So lastly, the mistake most beginner retouchers make is not actually building a portfolio for themselves. They oftentimes feel, oh, I do not have the pictures to use, I do not have the jobs, I've not gotten enough clients, I cannot build a portfolio. But it's not supposed to be so. There are actually ways you can build your portfolio. You can get pictures from different sites to use to build your portfolio, so that when gigs or when clients reach out to you and ask for your jobs, you can show it to them. So as retouchers, it doesn't even necessarily have to be the pictures you've taken. You can get pictures. There are pictures from other photographers. They post on different sites. So you just have to locate these sites and locate raw files to use to build your portfolio. And then when you have a very strong and good portfolio, you'll be able to reach clients that will pay you well. You'll be able to get or land big gigs. So as beginner retouchers, do not just relax and say, oh, I cannot have a portfolio. You can. All you have to do is find the right means of getting raw files for editing. And then you keep working on them, keep editing these pictures, building and learning or refining your skills, so that when the big gigs come, you'll be able to deliver excellently. And that's it. 10 mistakes beginners make. If you found this video helpful, do not forget to like and subscribe for more. What's that mistake you've made in your retouching journey? Drop them in the comment section. I'd love to hear them.